Well, it's day 4 on my lonesome. I'm moored up just below a lock and I'm facing 16 locks in a very short distance. Fortunately, my sister and brother-in-law said they might come and visit me today and give us a hand. I think they've just set off from Stevenage, where I'm approaching Tring. So that's really useful. I mean, Linda will be back tomorrow, which would be great. And I hear my mum, who you've heard is poorly, she should be out of hospital today or tomorrow, we're hoping. So things are looking up. It's towards the end of the summer now, it's September. We're approaching the end of our cruise. Another 2-3 weeks we should be home. However, we've got loads of other things to do in the winter to keep us busy, including possibly moving the boat to another marina, ripping out the inside carpets on the side, do some rewiring. Loads of stuff to keep us busy, as we always do with boats. Anyway, I'm going to fire up and get up to the first lock. Well, I walked up to the first lock to get ready, and it was completely empty. Didn't even have to open the paddles. Just push the gate and it's empty, so I can, from where I was moored, just come straight up and get my lock. It's a good start. So I've left the mooring, which you can see behind me there, and I'm just heading into the first lock. So I'm just leaving the lock now, first one. I'd walk it out, but it's quite a way to be mooring up bollards and a bit of a bend, so I'll potter out, moor it up there. It's very good mooring right next to a lock last night, because last night I was exhausted. Until you're fresh and right, let's get going. And that was a good start at being empty. Well, as it's going to be today, the second lock is approaching. I've only done about 3 minutes, if that, from the last one. That's fine. Let's just hope there's somebody coming down this one. That'd be nice. Give me a hand, wouldn't it? But I doubt it. So second lock's open, and this is one of the many places on this stretch where you've got 2 arch bridges, and on the right there used to be a single lock. So to conserve water, if just a single boat came, they use a single lock. Alternatively, if it was really busy, you could use both locks simultaneously, water permitting. Now, once again, I was quite lucky. There was only about 6 inches of water in the bottom of the lock. This is speeding me up quite a bit. And my sister and brother-in-law, Alison and Colin, have already set out to meet me to give me a hand, which is ideal, because it's quite challenging doing myself, quite fun. Let's get in here. It does get tiring. Right there, watch what I'm doing. Just leaving the second lock. This is my sister and brother-in-law. Good and bad news. One, my mum is out of hospital, which has been let out this morning, and I'm really chuffed. It's been there a month. And also that's part of the reason I'm going home as fast as I can. That's the great news. Bad news is they're not coming to help me now, because I've got to go and pick my mum up. But hey, while I'm chattering and looking at mooring up, that lockkeeper's cottage, isn't that just perfection? Proper canal architecture. Nice big bold 1914 on there. That's where they collected the tolls from. Right, let's moor up and get these gates shut. So we're in the Chilterns now, rising up them. Not the best of views, just as I film, a big hedge comes into row. But we're off at the clay, well, actually it changed from clay to chalk up here, and that's why you get some things cut out into the hillside. There's a big line at Whipsnade Zoo. Boatmen back in the day used to refer to this sort of flat area as the fields. Well, there's been a lot of fields all the way, but there you go. I think the lock gods are smiling at me today for such a thing. This is obviously the third lock, and they're deep locks, and 2 of them were completely empty, just opened the gates, and the third one needed about 3 or 4 inches removing. So really makes life a lot easier. So I've got to get in here, clamber up the ladder. I'm getting faster at this though. There's a lot of tips you can do, I'm learning. Moving the boat from the side yourself with a rope, pulling it out the lock yourself, positioning the lock, that's the tricky one. If you go in one gate like I am doing now, and the ladder on the lock is right at the front of the boat, well, you are in danger of falling off as you try to get there. So Ivanhoe locks, number 32, and I'm in. Well, I made a silly mistake of saying the lock gods are smiling at me. Lock 3, as I was manoeuvring in it, started chucking it down. I thought there was a bit of blue sky there, so I was absolutely chucking it down. I couldn't get to my coat, so I'm a bit wet. And to add to that, there was a notice on it saying that the Marsworth flight, which is coming up in a bit, has got a water restriction lockage on it, and if you don't get to the bottom lock by 2 o'clock, tough, it's locked, and you've got to go out of the locks by 4. Well, that was lot 3. It's another 6 locks for me to get there, and it's 25 to 10. I've got to be in by 2 o'clock. I can't see that happening, I'll see. And if I do get in, I've got to get out in 2 hours. I've got to do 7 locks quickly by myself in 2 hours. So I do suspect I might end up with half a day today. Very frustrating. It's probably because I said the lock gods, if they exist. Yeah, thanks. Hey ho. At least with it. It also said mooring's going to be really hard to find, or possibly hard to find because we're so busy with the lockages. But I haven't passed a boat moving yet this morning in, what is it, hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes. Just me on my lonesome. So I don't think there'll be a problem with mooring. Not going to worry about it now anyway. Right, let's get ready for this lock, straight ahead. Well, that's the 4th lock I'm just approaching, and again the lock was completely empty. Didn't have to open the paddles or nothing, so that's 3 completely empty and 1 with a few inches in. So that has sped me up a great amount, because if you've done locks, you'll know how long they take to empty. Burst out at first and then very slow. Another little tip I've found, if you drift off to the middle of a lock when you're trying to get up the ladder, which does happen, use the pole, a really long pole, for pushing yourself to the correct side so you can get on or off. It's been quite helpful doing that. Right, go and risk life and limb and try and climb out of this one. So I'm just going underneath bridge 123, really windy again, and lock 5 is ahead, so I might make this Marsworth flight. The restriction's going to be a bit tight, 2 o'clock. It'd be really handy if I had another boat coming up or down with me to make life easier, but such is life. Yeah, next lock's just around this corner here. It's a lovely bit of canal though. Although I do appreciate this vlog is going to be lock, cruise, lock, cruise, lock, cruise, lock, cruise, and then either phew, loads more locks I got through the restriction, or that's me done for today. C'est la vie, different days, it's all about. Guess that chap likes welding. Live to weld, weld to live. Fair enough. There's the next lock. Well, that's lock 5, I'm just leaving now, and again it was completely empty. Now it's not surprising if the last boat, you know, that going was this way, emptied all the locks, that's fine, but Nothing's been past me all day. I mean, only boat that's been moving today, which means these locks have been left like this since last night, or since very early this morning before I woke up, and none of them have filled up. Blimey, quite sure what that was. Now, according to our guidebook, which we always buy these, they're brilliant. Get one of those, folks, if you have a canal you're on. The page I'm on today, page 20, well, number 27, there's what I've got to do today. And according to their guide, which is normally pretty accurate, it's got 7 locks, 3.5 miles, and should take you 2 hours. Well, me and Linda are pretty fast at locks and pretty quick anyway on the canal, and not just speeding, of course, but we are pretty quick. We've got a very fast routine, and so far I've got 2 locks and half a mile or so to do, and I've been going 2 hours 35 minutes. So instead of taking 2 hours, that's 2.5. I'm nowhere near finished. I reckon another 45 probably. So that's how much it slows you down, even though every lock has been open. I mean, it's been brilliant. But just the fact of having to clamber up and down and do it yourself makes such a difference. Now, Linda and I say we are quick. Our record locks in a day is 42 when we were doing the Warwickshire Ring. And yeah, that was a long day and we were tired. But 42 locks, and most of them were big full width locks, take a lot more filling and emptying, and that's the difference. Having a fast team, even if it's just the 2 of us, we're a fast team, or doing it yourself. And I'm going pretty quick, running up to the locks, everything's working well. This one looks empty too, there's nothing leaking through the gates. Lovely looking lock, I'll show you. So there's the lock. What a beautiful situation. Absolutely lovely. Anyway, I better shut up and get off the boat and rush like I said I was doing. So that's 6 locks done. And I've just come around that bend behind me, not far. And here's lock number 7. The last one on this page of my book, there's a little bit of distance to do. And ahead of me is lovely blue sky. And behind me is a big black cloud. So I'm either going to get very hot again, well, I am already from running around after these locks, or wet. Well, I was quite chuffed about lock 7. There's only 7 on this page. I've got them more up and go and shut the gates. And I was just thinking, phew, another half mile, I'm on the next page of that little book. And I just noticed straight ahead there is a swing bridge for me to do by myself. So here's the swing bridge, and I was a bit stuffed because you need to be on the left hand side to swing it, but on the right hand side is where the mooring is, on both sides. Fortunately, 3 guys walking a dog, and they offered to help me. How cool is that? Guys, thanks so much. And you can shut it for us, yeah? You're brilliant. You'll be on my YouTube channel in about 6 weeks. Narrowboat Adventures. Yeah, I'd have been stuck doing that. And there we go. It's quite a hard work. But you have to be on that side to open it. Crazy. Thanks again. Well, on this little page of my book that claims 2 hours, what a lot. There are 7 locks of the swing bridge and what is it, 3.5 miles. Trade! I still haven't quite finished the page. I've got about another 1/4 of a mile or so to go. no more obstacles I see. But I've now been at it 3.5 hours, so about 2 hour page, 3.5 hours. The next page says it's 3.5 hours. It'll have owls hooting as the light disappears if I finish that page. Oh well. Right, I've got 10-15 minutes of chilling before it all starts again. I've got to get to that bottom lock for 2 o'clock, well it's only 11:30, but I've got 2 more locks to get there till I get to the Marston flight that's restricted. But the way I'm doing, I should do that. Hopefully make Tring tonight. I mean, I'm not sure how Linda's going to join me. I'm not sure if she's getting a lift. Probably will off my daughter. Or whether she's catching the train, but I'll be by Tring train station if all goes well. So one way or another, she can get back either tonight or tomorrow. And I am very much looking forward to seeing her. Here comes lock 8. Definitely full. I'm getting good at this do-it-yourself malarkey now. As the Trevitonians show, beautiful countryside all around. Blotted out by the sun a bit there. Well, this is not good. Somebody's left the gate open and the pound's drained. Oh, God almighty. So I'm going to have to fill that pound up to try and get across it. Oh, God. I've got to walk up there, let some water through. And it looks like the next set of gates has been left open. What is wrong with these people? For God's sake. I mean, look at that. How can I get through there? This is going to take forever to fill. So that lock gate was open when I got here, and I'm now letting water through. I phoned the CRT to let them know, because this pound was almost totally empty. Now I don't want it big enough to take an ocean liner through, but it'd be quite nice to be able to get my boat through. It's hard to judge how much I've put in, but I'll have to keep going for a bit longer, I think. Well, that's a bit better. That's let a lot of water through. I've left the other gates open so I can get through. Hopefully I can get through this now. So I need to get into this lock. But of course, when I open those gates, we'll lose a load of water. Oh well, we'll see. Hopefully I've let enough in. Right, miles with 2 locks. I've filled the pound a bit. Is it enough? I don't know. I've just got to get in this lock. I'll shut these bottom gates, hope the top 2, then make a decision if I need to feed some more water through. Because if I get stuck in the middle of a pound, I can't say to Linda, let some water through. It just means I'm stuck in the middle of a pound. I've had an eventful morning. I still haven't got to where the time restriction is. Anyway. Oh, wore out. I'll let some more water out if need be. That's me in the lock, got to climb up. Shut the gates, open the ones ahead, assess the pound, decide what to do. So there's the pound now. I filled it up a fair old bit, went to come out the lock and the boat jammed coming out the lock. Couldn't even leave the lock. So I had to come back out here and put loads more water in. Absolutely loads. Sure took some filling, but now Here's the boat. Lock gates are open. Off to the Marsworth flight. Lovely little lock house, as always. 1909. Everything's got a date on the canal. Well, after all that excitement, that was a pain, that pound. It's lunchtime, I haven't got time for lunch, so I've got a bit of pork pie. And rather than a cup of tea, can of Coke. I prefer Pepsi, I don't really like it as much, I haven't got much in my shop. But needs must, I've got to get in the next flight, otherwise I lock them. But yeah, that bit that should have took 2 hours, plus that bit there, so far I've been going 5 hours. And I've now done 9 locks, 1 swing bridge, filled an empty pound, and oh yeah, I haven't seen any boats moving. It's really eerie. Been on the Grand Union for all this time, it's 8 o'clock this morning, 5 hours, nothing. Not one boat. Well, moving anyway. Most strange. Well, after this bridge, I'm at Marsworth Junction. Aylesbury Arms off to your right. And that light stone building. Water point and stuff there, I haven't got time to get water. Right, yet another lock. I've got to get through this one and to the next lock because they close the next one at 2 o'clock. It's currently about 1:15. Fortunately, this looks a bit open, empty, but I've got to rush, get through the next one, and then I'm through. Phew! What a stroke of luck! That's the first boat I've seen moving today. But I've got to try and get in here now. Which is a bit awkward from this position. But even better news, can you see a bloke ahead with a blue top and a red lifesaver? A CRT here giving a hand. I've done 9 by myself, and although it's sense of pride, dual 16, boy am I happy to see him. Well, that was a godsend. CRT man, come to help me. The gates opened as I got there with a wide beam coming out, and I could leave that gate open because he's going to shut it all up for me in a bit. And I've got to get to the next lock for 2 o'clock. It's 1:35. I lock it at 2, and I've got 2 hours to get through 6 locks, is it left? 6, I think. Yeah, they're very close though, so I can probably run up and do 2 at the same time. But yeah, I'm pleased to have got this far. I'd hate to have given it up now, after all that rushing around and madness and the pound and all that, and then just to say, oh well, I'll have a rest here. This is the one they're locking at 2 o'clock. I've been going 5.5 hours and I've got 30 minutes to spare. So that has been pretty hectic. Looks like somebody coming down. Ooh, that's handy. I hope so. All of a sudden, after not seeing a boat, got to the locks and there's boats coming down. So Jules Fuel's just come out of this one. The one above, I've just been up and opened the gates of that one. So it's suddenly sped up a bit. This is lock 12 for the day. Whew. So while I'm waiting for this one to fill, a boat had just come down there, Jules Fuel, so I went up and opened that one because it was empty. So as soon as I come out of this one, I can go straight to the next one, lot number 42. So this is my 12 for the day, 4 left. Whew. Well, I'm in lock 42, 13th for the day. Just chucked it down earlier, so I got soaking wet, coat on, coat off. End of the day, these clothes will smell like an old dog that's been out in the wet, you know, that strange smell. Damp. Oh well. Yeah, 13 locks, 3 left. And you notice I'm sitting in a boat with water going up. There's a CRT helper. I've done the vast majority myself, and there's a lot of pride in I can do more myself. But when one or two of these guys turn up, it's just wonderful after a day like today. CRT guys opening that one for me. How cool is that? It really is lock, lock, lock. As you look behind me, that's where I've just come from that one. They're very close. I'm about to enter the last one lock. So happy this chat's helping me. So I can see both of them from here, they're very close together. Going well, you can get the other one ready. I'd normally consider running up, but I've shattered and this guy's doing it for me. So I'll get out this lock flight today. I'll get to, where's it? Bulbourne. And I'll moor up. I wanted to trig, I'm too tired. Bulbourne for me today. The final lock. Number 16 of the day. It's empty. You can just nudge them with the front of your boat if you're naughty. But CRT chap is walking up to help. And that'll do me. So the final lock, it's all locked up because you had to be there by 2 o'clock going up or down. So I'm allowed out, had to be here by 4. I've had to let me out, it's been a bit late. But due to having a bit of help on this flight, it's 3 o'clock. So I've had a very eventful day and I'm going to moor up not long from here. Well, here we are, I'm in the last lock. Filling up and then I'm off. Big smile on my face. I'm a happy chap. And finally, I'm out of the 16th lock. I am exhausted, but ecstatic. I'm pleased at that. Nice little area here. You can see there's a lot of boats waiting to come down tomorrow all moored up, so it's pretty hectic just here for mooring. There's a Wendover arm on there. We went down there on the way down here. It's a bit narrow here. There's somebody double moored on the left. But, oh, sorry. Very windy. I mean, it is seriously quite windy. Just back touch there. But as you'll see in a minute, you've probably already seen now, it's pretty narrow. And again, there's a huge wide beam moored up here, filling half the canal. Yeah, that is a huge thing. So yeah, that's me done for the day. I could get to Tring, but I really couldn't be bothered. The Tring cutting on the summit isn't that pleasant. It's just a slog, and I've done enough slogging today. So in the morning I'll get up fresh. I'll go have a shower, relax, chill. Have my lunch, I haven't had that yet, it's gone 3 o'clock. 2 bits of pork pie and a can of Coke, hardly lunch is it? Well, there certainly isn't much mooring available yet. Boats all the way down here. I doubt if they're all waiting to go down the locks. So yeah, today in my, 8 hours, I have seen moving a wide beam in first lock, then another chap, then Gill's Fuels, yeah, 3 boats. Is it 4? No, I can only think of 3. 3 boats, other than myself, moving on the cut. Isn't that weird? Now it is September now, schools are back, people are back, it's out of season I suppose. But blimey, it's quite fun, this retired lark. Got the canals to myself. Now next year, me and Linda will be out, well, we'll go out several times in the winter and whatever, but we'll be out much earlier. I didn't retire finish work till July, so that's when we set off. And as you know, we had all these problems with the engine and the heat wave and God knows what. So next time, go when we want. We're out in May, April. Have a month or two, do a bit. Right, my job is to find a mooring. Don't care where, just a mooring. Well, I'm finally moored up after a long day, without a break. 16 locks, a swing bridge, an empty pound which I had to fill up, and a deadline to get to the locks at Marsworth before they lock them. And the 16 locks, I did the majority of them by myself. Had a bit of help at the end from one guy, and oh, that was so useful. But yeah, that was one of the hardest days I think I've done. Me and Linda did 42 locks together once. That was pretty hard. But yeah, that was today, rushing around like that, that was absolutely hectic. But it's been fun. Anyway, if you've enjoyed today's vlog, basically lock cruise. But if you've enjoyed it, you know what to do, folks. Give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Cheers, folks. See you next week when Linda's back.